Yes, people, we are back with another one. Right, DJ Khaled in his prime. We've got how to identify baseball pitches today. I mean, to be fair, I've wanted to do a pitches video for a while, and I've had a few requests to do the pitches video, but this one's going to describe the pitches and that to me, because obviously I didn't know you could have like different type of pitches. I thought there'd be curveball and fastball and that's it. But the squad, we're about to get this, we're about to watch this, right? So let's go.
Identifying pitches.
Hey, if you've ever watched a Major League Baseball game, you probably know how difficult it can be to identify the different types of pitches that pitchers throw.
There might not be a lot of talking in this one because I want to listen to what's going on.
The pitches that you might be seeing in a Major League Baseball game. In general, the three things that you're
Look
looking
at
at
the
are, number one, the velocity of each pitch,
No.
number two, the movement of each pitch, and number three, and this is kind of a bonus, the pitch arsenal of each individual pitcher. If you go to Baseball Savant, you can look up the various pitches that each pitcher throws. For example, if you know that a pitcher throws a curveball, a
What are these moving, man? Look at the movement.
that narrows it down for you pretty nicely. All right, let's get started.
Fastballs.
The fastball is the basic pitch of Major League Baseball, and it's the type of pitch that you're going to see the most. There are three basic categories of fastballs, and most
Look at the
Major League
swerve.
pitchers use one of these types of fastballs as their primary pitch.
Four-seam fastball.
The four-seam fastball is the most common pitch in Major League Baseball.
Nah, the
It's also
movement
the
is
easiest to
outrageous, man.
identify, because from the angle of most TV broadcasts, a four-seam fastball appears to travel in a straight line, with no vertical drop whatsoever. This straight and level movement is a result of the high amount of backspin placed on the ball. If you see a pitch that's traveling this straight at 90 plus miles an hour, you're probably looking at a four-seam fastball. Some four-seam fastballs actually appear to travel upwards as they approach the plate, and this is called a rising fastball. Despite the way it looks on TV, this upward movement is just an illusion.
Sinker or two-seam
Serious?
fastball.
The two-seam fastball, or sinker, has movement
No.
as it approaches the plate. This movement is usually downward and
What the
or
hell?
towards the pitcher's arm side, so away from the glove. If you see a pitch
Honestly,
at
what the
fastball
hell?
velocity that drops or appears to run, or
How are you
twist
hitting that if
towards
you're a
the
batter though?
pitcher's arm
See, I
side,
don't understand.
you're probably looking at a two-seam fastball. The terminology can get a little bit confusing at first because people call this same type of pitch by two different names. The most common practice is to call it a two-seamer if it arrives up in the zone or if it runs laterally without much downward movement, reserving the term sinker for a two-seamer that drops or that arrives low in the zone. But it's also fairly common to use these terms interchangeably or to just use one term. For example, StatCast will call this pitch a sinker every time, even if it arrives up in the zone.
Okay,
The
okay.
cutter is the least common
People,
fastball
forgive me,
in
I'm
Major League
into
Baseball.
this. I'm just
By
trying to
definition, the cutter is characterized
trying
by
to get
length
what you're saying.
and sharp movement towards the pitcher's glove side, so the opposite direction of a sinker. In practice, however, a cutter can also drop or break hard towards the glove side like a slider. The unpredictability of the cutter can make it one of the hardest pitches to identify outright. And in fact, it's not unheard of for Major League broadcast crews to disagree about whether a pitcher has just thrown a cutter or another type of pitch, most commonly a slider.
Looks like a slider, actually. Just a crisp, hard slider, a little break to it. Cutter, they're calling it.
The good news is that pitchers who throw a good cutter at the major league level tend to use this pitch quite a bit. So knowing that a pitcher throws a cutter is your first step in identifying what that pitcher's cutter looks like.
Breaking balls.
Breaking balls are pitches thrown with significant top or side
Breaking
spin
balls, I thought that was
that
going to be a
causes the
nut
ball
shot.
to change direction as it approaches the plate. This change in direction is called break.
Look at
There
the
are two
techers on the
basic
pitch,
types of
though.
breaking balls.
Curveball.
The curveball is generally the slower of the two breaking balls.
Look at the dip on it,
upper
man. What the?
12 to 6 curveball gets its name from the fact that it breaks down.
Nah, that's crazy how that's moving, man.
12 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
That
But
is
curveball
mad how
can
that
also
moves.
travel towards the pitcher's glove side or come in straight and then bottom out. The curveball is almost always the slowest pitch that a pitcher throws.
So it
So
always
if you're
dips
looking at
down
a
the
pitch that's
curveball.
traveling anywhere from 60 to 80
That's- I
miles
don't
an hour
understand how
with
he's
a
doing that.
looping or dropping motion, it's probably a curveball.
Slider.
A A slider is a breaking ball that breaks diagonally towards the pitcher's glove hand side. Sliders are generally thrown faster and with a tighter break than curveballs. As you watch these sliders, you might be noticing that some of them are bearing a resemblance to curveballs, and others are bearing a resemblance to cutters. This is a good time to say that these pitches all more or less exist on a continuum. And people sometimes use terms like slurve to describe pitches that don't quite fit into one of these categories. In any case, if you're
Slurve,
talking about
curveball, and
slider,
slider.
or a slurve, or a curveball, you're talking about a breaking ball. And the good news is, if you
The
just
technique,
call
the
one
way
of
they
these pitches a
throw it,
breaking
man.
ball, you're never going to be wrong.
Off-speed pitches.
While the term off-speed pitch technically refers to any pitch that's not a fastball, in practice, the term off-speed pitch is usually reserved for pitches that mimic fastballs but that come in at a lower velocity. There are two types of off-speed pitches that you will commonly see.
Changeup.
A changeup is a pitch that's disguised to look like a fastball but arrives about 8 to 15 miles an hour slower. To my eye, most changeups look like sinkers, but again, they arrive 8 to 15
honestly,
miles an hour
I'd
slower
never-
than that pitcher's fastball. Let's take a look at a couple examples.
I
Here
never
is
knew there'd be
John
so many
Means
different
throwing
pitches,
a
man.
Fastball at 95, and then here is the changeup. When we slow this down, we see this is just a standard four-seam fastball.
Say, can one pitcher
95,
do,
and the
like,
changeup looks like it could be a
have
sinker,
all these
but
pitches?
arrives 11 miles
So you can
an
do a
hour slower
fastball,
than
a curveball, a
Here's Lucas
slider.
Giolito, fastball 96, and then the
One pitcher
changeup
can do all that, or is
arrives at
specialised
85.
pitchers?
When we slow this down, we see it's a standard four-seamer again. And then with the changeup, same delivery comes in looking like it could be a fastball, but it arrives at 85. The changeup is designed to be deceptive, and even professional broadcasters can get it wrong.
So he's saying that he done two different ones there, the pitcher did. So I'm guessing they can all pretty much mix it up, can't
Was
they?
a change?
Yep, 89 miles an hour.
Yeah, he throws harder than that.
This is a pitch that becomes much easier to identify once you start paying attention to the pitch velocities that are displayed on screen.
Splitter.
The splitter is an off-speed pitch that is thrown like the fastball, but that has a significant and late downward break. This
But
diving
that's like the
movement
curveball
is a
though, innit?
result of the
Really?
low spin rate placed on splitters, which pitchers achieve
Because the
by
curveballs
using a
all drop
split
down.
finger grip that gives this pitch its name.
I was thinking
It's
it must be
easy to
something
see
to
a
do with the
splitter,
grip.
and
I was
at
thinking
first
that.
think that it might be another type of pitch that has some significant downward movement.
Like the
like
way
a
it comes off your
curveball or
fingers,
a
the ball.
sinker. But once you start paying attention to the velocity of each pitch, you should be able to pick out the splitters. Here is Shohei Ohtani throwing a curveball at 79 and a splitter at 88. When we slow these down, we can see that the curveball has kind of a tumbling action to it, whereas the splitter comes in looking like it might be a fastball and then just drops. The splitter is ultimately not a very common pitch, so knowing that a pitcher has a splitter in their arsenal is a good first step in identifying that pitcher's splitter.
Less common pitches.
The fastballs, breaking balls, and off-speed pitches that we've seen so far constitute the vast majority of pitches that you'll see when watching Major League Baseball. There are a few other types of pitches that you might see, and we'll go through them pretty quickly.
Ephus.
An ephus
Ephus?
pitch is an incredibly slow and high
No, are you
breaking
serious?
ball, if you want to call it that.
Forkball.
Are you serious?
The forkball is like an extreme splitter, and these will often land in the dirt or touching home plate.
How the hell, man?
Screwball.
A screwball is a breaking ball that breaks like a mirror image of a slider, so towards the pitcher's arm side. It's been years since one has been thrown at the major league level.
Knuckleball.
Knuckleball? We do
And
these in
finally,
football.
There's the knuckleball,
It
which
moves
is
like
an
that.
unpredictable and floaty pitch that's thrown with almost no spin whatsoever.
I literally mastered the knuckleball technique at football,
So
seriously.
that covers pretty much.
I've got a
every
video of
pitch
me
you can
hitting a
see when you
knuckleball,
watch
actually.
Major League Baseball. If you know
I've
that
got
you're
a
gonna be
video of
watching
me
baseball
doing
game
knuckleball
and you want to get better at identifying pitches,
from years
the
ago,
best thing you
like.
can do is go to Baseball Savant and search for the starting
Obviously in
pitchers for
football,
that game. See
not
what
in
they
baseball.
pitch so that you are prepared.
But
and
it's
you
the
know what's
same.
coming. Beyond that, just keep paying attention to how the pitches move and the velocity of the pitches that you see on TV, and it won't be long before you are identifying pitches pretty well. Real quick before we wrap up, it should be made clear that each example that was shown in this video is a well-executed example of each pitch type. And in order to show the full movement of each pitch type, I only included videos where the batter did not make contact with the ball. In reality, Not every pitch that you see in a Major League Baseball game is going to be this pretty or is going to conform this well to the definition of each pitch type. Breaking balls might not break. This is called a hanging breaking ball, and they happen all the time. Hanging breaking balls are usually hit for power, so you don't want them. Pitchers will misfire on their fastball.
Oi.
And pitchers are always changing up the velocity, movement, and location of their pitches in order to keep batters guessing. So even the same type of pitch from the same pitcher can and will look different from pitch to pitch. So give yourself some time, and if you want to identify pitches by just seeing them on TV, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get there within a couple weeks if you just keep at it. Feel free to come back to this video anytime you want for reference. Unless it's a submariner style pitcher. And
What the hell?
on your own.
What the hell was that last one? Guys, I love that video. I actually love that video. Seriously, man. I'm sorry I wasn't talking through it, man. I wanted to listen to what he was saying. I didn't pick up everything he was saying, but obviously. But God, I thought there'd be curveball and fastball, paceball, whatever you call it, and that's it. But there was about 10 different ones. What was that last one? That loop one as well, Ethos or something. That was crazy, man. Them curveballs were probably my favourite ones that just drop at the end. They were probably my favourite ones. And the ones that spin off to the side, man, what the hell? Seriously, how are you doing that? How are you moving the ball like that? God, that was mad to me. That was mad to me. But yeah, once again, I wanted to listen to what was going on, man, so I wasn't talking a lot throughout. But knuckleball, it's like you have to hit the ball on a certain part of your foot to make it move like that through the air. And literally, I mastered it. Not a lot of people can do it, man. Not a lot of people can do it. It's like a special technique. But people, I might post that video of you from years ago. I don't know if you'd be able to see the proper knuckle on it though, so. But yeah, squad, man, really enjoyed that video. The dude broke everything down really well. But yeah, it's a lot of information to take in, so obviously I didn't take it all in. So, but squad, yeah, man. If you like the video, and get in the comments, request some more, and yeah, that's about it, boys. I'll see you in the next one.